So to have a good long career, I think you need to be passionate about it. You need to be passionate and stay passionate about it. And I understand, and I know some artists that have gotten burnt out.
Right.
Right? They've lost their passion.
Oh, yes.
You know, they've been doing it, you know, maybe 10, 12 years. They've lost their passion. They're burnt out.
They don't stay with the trends.
Yeah. And usually someone gets burnt out. It's usually client fatigue. You know, it's usually not the work, like actually executing the procedures, like picking up the needle and getting in the skin and doing the work. Usually, I think a lot of people burnt out, you know, because clients, you know, client
I've heard that a lot.
management. Yeah, you get client fatigue. Some, you know, clients can be tough sometimes, and
Draining, yeah.
and draining. But you know, we certainly have known some people that lost their passion. And so I think to have, you know, 22 years in the business, I'm as passionate, if not more passionate today than I was when I started. My passion for this industry has never died
Or
dipped,
wavered
nothing.
No.
Would you agree?
I'd 100% agree.
I mean, we even go on dates.
Love it.
I do love it. I mean, you're even like,
Oh, I love it too.
I know, but you have rules. Like we're going to dinner, like tonight, Taryn, like no talking about PMU.
No bringing your phone.
No bringing your phone. No talking about permanent makeup. No talking about the store.
Sometimes we still do.
I'm
But
like, yeah, okay, but can we talk about Willow? Because I got something I got to tell you about Willow.
Only if you tell me to.
Yeah, so sometimes we have to set boundaries. So we have like, you know, romantic time, you know, because we're life partners, not just business partners. So, you know, it can creep over into all aspects of our life and, you know, affect, you know, it can be a damper on the makeout session. So, you know, we got to control it sometimes. But I think that's important. I think it's important to stay passionate. And whatever you need to do, sometimes we have to do things, take action, implement things to refuel, to reignite our passion. Maybe that's going to a conference. Maybe that's going and taking a class or a lecture, you know, something like that. You know, whatever it takes for you. So, you know, if you're someone listening right now and you love it, but your passion, you know, you're starting to lose your passion, it's important that you keep that passion, you know, to keep a good long career and to stay happy and joyful while you are doing PMU. You know, if you're not passionate about it, then, you know, you can lose your joy and you might not make you happy anymore. So you don't want to be doing something that doesn't make you happy.
for sure.
For sure. So you gotta stay passionate. I think you need to stay curious. You need to stay curious, right? I think curious and interested.
Yeah.
And I think that is a huge reason why I'm still here doing what I do, is because I'm curious by nature and I'm super interested in a lot of things. So everything PMU, including the new trends, really get me really curious. I'm super interested in them. I want to learn all about them. I want to do them. I want to try them. I may not enjoy all of them,
Right.
but some of them I do enjoy, the new techniques and new trends going on. I do enjoy. I incorporate that into, you know, my work. Some of them, you know, not really my thing, so I'm not really gonna, you know, use it in my work. But
you have knowledge of it.
oh yeah, no, I have more than knowledge. Like I do it until I get pretty good at it and I can do it.
Yes.
But that's just me because I want to be able to talk about it.
Right.
And when I do go to conferences or end up, you know, with PMU artists, if that's the technique they do, I can sit and I can have like, you know, a knowledgeable conversation with them about it, you know, because I was curious and interested. I practiced, I learned all about it. You know, maybe I, you know, took a class. I practiced it on latex. I did it on some clients. And again, maybe I keep using it on clients and maybe I don't. Maybe it's not just for me, but I know all about it. I did it. I performed it. I can speak about it. And So I like that.
So now I'm curious. So what's something new you had learned in the recent time that you do incorporate now?
That I do. Oh, you're catching me off guard. That I do incorporate now. Well, the 3 shader. That was probably about maybe like a year and a half ago. So
that's why you really wanted to include it.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
the
Someone
new needles.
that 3 shader. I don't even know who mentioned, but someone was like the 3 shader. Well, because the single needle hit the scene,
Right.
and so fascinated by it, and I'm can't wrap my brain around it yet. Fascinated, curious, interested. What is the big deal about the single needle? Didn't make sense to me from a logical standpoint, using such a tiny little needle to fill an eyebrow. It doesn't make logical sense when you're talking, the dimension of the tip of the needle versus the dimension of like an 8 shader, and efficiency and getting done quicker and time, things like that. But it got really super popular, and the work
super popular,
and the work looked beautiful. So I'm like, oh man, I gotta like check this thing out. So yeah, I just my friend Na does a single needle, and
Michonne.
But I taught Michonne.
Michonne, yeah.
And Michonne didn't want to learn it at first.
I know.
She did not want. She was like griping and bitching at me. She did not want to learn it. But I told her, no, you got to stay relevant. You got to keep up with the trends. You got to at least try them. And if you don't like it, then that's fine. But we got to stay relevant and stay up with, we got to evolve with the industry, and evolve.
Now she loves it.
And she is a single needle maniac.
She's amazing single needle artist.
Yeah,
She
look
really
what I did.
Yeah,
What I turned her into.
Yeah.
So I did, maybe 15 or 20 clients single needle. And at first I sucked at it, because I'm used to big shaders.
That's funny.
Yeah, I wasn't that good at it. And it was a little frustrating. But, by my, 4th, 5th client, now I'm getting the hang of it. I'm getting like a good little rhythm with it. And I liked it when the skin was perfect, but the minute you get skin that's oily or challenging, shoot me now. It was so
hard,
frustrating because it just doesn't get pigment in, and so in experiencing with the single needle, I did learn on what skin types that single needle is very good for, and I can see why people pick it up and use it all day long for eyebrows on certain skin types. But on other clients I got that had large pores, they were textured, super oily, that needle, it is not a good choice. It is not efficient, doesn't work well at all. I would stop the procedure. I wouldn't even continue because it was just not happening. I'd have to get out my 8 shader.
8 shader.
And then just like that, the whole situation changes. Now I'm getting pigment in the skin and I'm moving on, getting the procedure done. Right. Now I'm happy, enjoying the procedure again. And so is the client. So I did learn a lot, but single needle is just not my thing. I didn't end up loving it. And so someone mentioned, it might have been not when she was out here filming her
class.
For the online academy. Yeah, she does a shaded powder brow with a single needle.
She's also an amazing artist.
She's amazing. Her online class is the bomb. And she, works at single needle like nobody's business. Just beautiful, beautiful powder brows. But she mentioned the 3 shader, because I said, please don't tell me you sit there and like suffer with a single needle, when the client is like super oily and challenging. And she's like, I like 3 shaders. I'm like, ooh, 3 shader. Yeah. And I had never used a 3 shader. The smallest shader I had ever used was a 5 shader. And I use those for most of my eyeliners. So I ordered some Da Vinci 3 shaders, started using them in the bulb area to get that ombre look and get some pixels going. And here I am digging that 3 shader. Yeah. So the 3
That's why you wanted the OMG to have a 3 shader.
That's why not just 1 3 shader, but 2. I fell in love with that 3 shader.
Yeah.
I fell in love with it because,
I remember you telling me, Kat, we got to get some 3 shaders.
Yeah. I mean, and I think I was 20 years into my career before I picked up and tattooed an eyebrow with a 3 shader. So you can see, like 20 years into my career, I'm still curious. I'm interested. So I pick up a new needle that I'd never used before, and now a couple years later, I'm just rocking out the fronts of my bulbs with it. It's a great needle to do an ombre, get that ombre look. You can definitely get some pixels, with the 3 shader. You're definitely going to get the better pixels with a single needle. I mean, that's what that single needle really is. I mean, no one can match the single needle for producing pixels, but that 3 shader, I mean, she's okay. She'll give you some pixels. Yeah, and she can deliver a nice soft ombre, and it's much better choice if that client does have textured, oily, challenging skin. So love the 3 shader. I think staying curious and interested is one of the most important elements of having a good long career and evolving as an artist. If you're not curious, curiosity leads to discovery, right?
Yeah.
Discovery leads to experimenting. Experimenting can lead to things you never imagined.
Right.
So I think staying curious, staying passionate, staying curious is super important. Super important. And
if a client wants that look, it comes in handy because you'll be able to do it because you were curious and you practiced and you mastered it.
Yeah. So 3 shaders. So I definitely wanted 3 shaders in the OMG needle line. We did 2. A 0.25 diameter and a 0.30.
I don't know if we're sold out.
No, those are selling
really
fast.
well.
Yeah, because I've been talking about them a lot for the last couple of years, in DMs and emails, and because we get a lot of emails that they learn on the single needle, and then 6 months or a year later they're out in their studios and then now they hate the single needle. They don't know that it's not that they hate the single needle. They're really frustrated and they're really struggling because
they need to know there's other choices.
They need to know that there's other choices in the single needle, right? And because they've been on a small needle for so long, a single needle, they get afraid to jump up.
Yeah, like an 8 shader sounds scary.
Like an 8 shader sounds scary.
Scary.
So, but if you bump them up to a 3 shader,
right,
that's not so scary. And then from a 3 shader, they can bump up to a 5 shader. From a 5 shader, they can bump up to an 8 shader, 7 or 8 shader. So. Yeah. Stay passionate, stay curious, stay interested, experiment with new techniques, new needles, new trends, and you'll be shocked. You'll be shocked and totally surprised at what you'll discover about yourself and what you'll end up liking, and some of the new healed results you can start producing and doing. I'm excited for the next 5 years of my career, and and what discoveries I'm going to make and what new, am I going to pick up and start doing. So
which way the industry is going to move?
In which direction the industry is going to move. It's all very exciting. To me, I find it very exciting. Ask a lot of questions. For sure. We've got these Facebook boards. We have one, the Girlz Inc. Products and Education Board.
We get a lot of questions.
A lot of questions. It's a support board. We run it pretty strict. We don't allow a lot of drama or any rude people or anything like that.
No spamming.
No spamming. Nothing like that. If you're a newbie, newbies have a lot of questions, and on other boards sometimes they get some shit. For asking basic questions, but hey, you gotta ask fucking questions.
You gotta start somewhere.
And maybe they got really bad training, like a lot of people. So what? So if they got really bad training, but they're passionate about this, they think maybe they could be good at it. They want to give it a go. So what? They're not supposed to ask basic questions. You gotta start somewhere. And yeah, I mean, they thought their beginning and their start was going to be in that class, and then that class ended up being, a crappy class, and then they get, and $4,000 or $5,000 later, 4 or 5 days later, $4,000 or $5,000 later, they don't know what to do. They don't know where to turn. They don't even know what's the very first thing they should do. get on a board, get on the Girlz Inc. Products and Education Board. And they got to ask basic questions. Sorry, but they do.
Our girls will always support.
Yeah, or you can email us. I mean, we answer.
We answer on there, and we answer. We email. We answer.
We answer. Even the most basic of questions that
lovingly,
absolutely lovingly. But yeah, you got to ask questions. Yeah, I think the only stupid question is the one you're not asking.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, you want to be good. You got to ask a lot of fun questions. That's just the way it is.
You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah. You don't even know what you don't know. So ask a lot of questions. And then, and practice. Get on practice pads and practice. A lot. Get control of that machine, get precise with that needle, and, work out the shakes, the quibbles and the wobbles, and get her going. You got to practice. So that's like the skill part of it, right? That's the skill part of it. Training, be a spun, seek out knowledge, read, take online classes and get the theory and absorb and learn all aspects, all elements of PMU. Stay passionate, stay curious, stay interested. Follow trainers that do really good work and that you respect and admire. And, maybe those are the trainers that, save money. And, maybe once a year you can go, or every other year you can go do a class. Sometimes, budgets are tight. I totally get it. So, do what you can there.